Alright, so there's still some visual artifacting. This is a software issue. I know what the problem is, I just haven't decided how to address it yet. So you can see MurumLux is playing Game of Life right now. The hardware is now complete, so everything that is going to be done on the hardware is done. Running over here, there's an Ethernet cable running to the E-field box. So there is, I don't know if that's going to quite come out, but there's a Fubarino Mini that's basically acting as an adapter for the Saberwing, the MGC 3130 there. And this I think it's IP Logica? I don't know. It's some Spanish name that I can't properly pronounce, but they make this little Ethernet shield, which is another microchip part down there, and it runs a full IP stack that is doing the serial relay for us. The power over Ethernet, so it's running. It can take up to 12 volts over that Ethernet cable. This is mostly just for my documentation. So come over here and touch on it a bit. You can see things. Oh, there you go. See, I don't know if my cursor is. Oh, that's neat. That is very cool. Yeah, so I hope Guy and Denise are happy with that guy. So that's that looks beautiful. I'm not quite understanding the limit here on my. There it is. So the software is pretty rudimentary. If I tap it, I can hold. And you can see that it's drawing in purple. So, and then as soon as I let up, boom. So that works pretty well. If I just straight tap on it, there we go. So that display refresh is pretty awful, and it's probably going to show up as revolving banding. The color reproduction is also not very good at the moment. All of these visual issues are tied to the same root cause. So that's on my immediate address plate. Now, pull this down. Let's see the back side of this guy. Oh boy. So this is a power supply that's running at 5 volts, and it's driving everything. It seems like it consumes about 120 watts at normal operation. I put a little acrylic sheet on there. This came out, that was actually from the Saberwing. But in order to get the Saberwing into the E-field box, I had to take that little acrylic spacer plate off. So I did a pretty nice job there, spring loading it so that it wouldn't be it could sustain a little bit of impact without breaking. Because this thing is going to take a little bit of abuse. It's still lower profile than the power supply. The power supply is the highest profile part, so not including the stand, of course. Which that thing was that was an exercise in improvisation. Worked out pretty well though. So I've strain relieved everything. Not sure how well that's going to come out, but the strain relief is just screwed pretty much right into the acrylic, except for this one. The big one here has a nut through the back end of it. So that's the tie-in to the power over Ethernet. Now, a lot of these parts, the Fubarino and these IP Logica boards, they don't have any mounting holes. I hate it when this happens. So in order to mount these, it's in there solid now. I didn't glue it. But it's I don't know if that's going to quite come out on the video, but I basically took the pins, heated the pins, and pressed them into the acrylic sheeting. So that'd be really sweet if I could get my camera into see the. No, the acrylic's not going to let me see through it like that. So that thing is in there basically as good as glue, with no glue. So you could probably remove it with heat, but it doesn't have to go anywhere. So that's my little DMA channel demultiplexer board. All that's on there is a flip flop. It's a 74 1. I'm gonna mess up the number. It's a hex D flip flop, positive edge triggered. There's nothing special about it really. I'm I'm putting the clock signal actually into the 8 byte DMA that I'm sending over the PMP, because the Wi-Fi board, I think I mentioned earlier, doesn't have any kind of a strobe that's accessible. It's all taken up inside of the board by the SD card slot, which I'm not using. So that's awesome. But here's the cutout, and that cutout is where the ribbon cable enters in, and it chains through. So panel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So those 6 panels altogether are 6,144 LEDs. Came together pretty nicely, but I'm probably going to have to turn this in either today or tomorrow, so I won't have too much of a chance to play with it. But if you're going to be at the Bay Area Maker Faire in May, this month, in like 2 weeks, you'll probably see the panel there. So there we go. So that's that. MurumLux lives. Put this in the file with completed contract work. That was fun. We had fun here today.